Hey Dragonlings, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hegyes. In last week's video, I talked about my goals for 2023, reflected on them a little bit, what I did and did not accomplish, and then I went over my goals and my plans for 2024 in a good, better, best method. This week, what I want to talk about is my goals, breaking them down from the year-long goals into my quarterly goals. But rather than talking about everything in my good, better, and best categories, I'm just going to talk about the good category, and then there will be a couple of things from the better, best that I want to explain a little bit in depth. There'll be things that I'm kind of working towards, but if they don't get done, it'll be okay, kind of thing. And as always, I will be looking down at my screen every once in a while because that's where my notes are on whatever everything I'm doing. So if you see me looking down, that's why, and I apologize ahead of time. Okay, so for my 2024 good goals, what I wanted to do under the writing and publishing category is publish 3 books. Now, for this quarter, I am just going to be focusing on one of those 3, and that is Hunter's Betrayal. Right now, I don't know if it's going to be book 1 or book 3 of the Shifters and Mages series. When I originally published this story back in 2024, Puck's Choice was book 1, but Hunter's Betrayal is kind of a prequel novel about what happened during the Salem witch trials that caused the whole war between the Shifters and Mages and the Hunters. But every once in a while, between each of the drafts I've written, I have included like snippets of what's going on in modern times, and then I've taken those snippets out. So that's why I don't know if it's going to be book 1 or 3, because the snippets include those who are mentioned in Puck's Choice after the events of Puck's Choice. So that's why I'm not positive if it's going to be book 1 or 3. So that is my major goal for Q1, is to work on that book, get it ready to send to my editor. I have written, how many words have I written on that so far? I actually have to look at a different chart for that. I have written about 20,000 words for it so far of the 70,000 that I want to write. So it's well on its way, but one of the things I want to do in 2024 is I want to write and edit at the same time, so that when I finish a project, it's more of a cleaner draft that I can send to my editor. And the way I'm going to be working on that is I want to do 2 or 3 writing sprints and then 1 or 2 editing sprints. So that is kind of the goal as far as writing goes, is I'm going to be working on Hunter's Betrayal, but I'm also going to be trying to do at a minimum of 2 to 3 writing sprints and 1 to 2 editing sprints, 4 total. And whether those 4 are 3 editing, 1 or 3 writing, 1 editing, or 2 writing, 2 editing is the question. But that is the kind of the goal that I've got for now. The next thing I want to do is, under writing and publishing still, is I wanted to write 4 short stories, which means in the good category, I wanted to write 1 each quarter. And the one I'm going to be focusing on in Q1 is the sequel to Presumed Dead, which was the short story I wrote for the anthology Summer Solstice Seduction. Those 3 short stories are going to be republished hopefully this year with a new series name, and all 3 of them at roughly the same time, like boom, boom, boom kind of thing. So my goal is to kind of write those stories and get them ready so that I can do that. It shouldn't be too hard of a task, which is why that kind of falls under the better, best kind of goals too, because I'm really hoping to get that whole series. Currently, Presumed Dead is not published because it was on an exclusive run with that anthology, and that run has since ended. So hopefully I can get all 3 of those written and out this year. Presumed Dead is ready. I just need to format it and get a cover. And so focusing on the second story, which I am itching to write. I've got so many ideas for it. It's just a matter of writing them down and making sure they all work in the word count area that I want to stay within. Same thing for the third one. I've got so many ideas for it, and again, I just need to make sure it fits within the story. I want them all to be around the same length, or maybe each one a little bit longer than the one previous, so that's what I'm focusing on. Writing challenges, I want to do the 7-day book challenge in March. There is a bunch of other challenges I would like to do, but that's like my main focus. If that one I can get done, I want to host the 7-day book challenge in the 3rd week of the 3rd month of March. I will be actually announcing official dates later on, But for now, that'll give you a general idea of what I'm looking at. Third week of the third month of each quarter. So in March, the third week of March, which I can't remember what that is off the top of my head, and I'm using my phone to record, so I can't even look it up. I probably could on my computer, but it's just a hassle. Anyways, all I know is I'll announce the official dates later, but just kind of keep in mind if you're looking at doing the 7-day book challenge with me, and I do have a video where I talk about that more in detail if you want to check the description for that. But keep in mind if you are interested in doing that the third week of the third month, so the third week of March for the first quarter. Under social media for my good goals, I want to post to Instagram weekly. My plan is to kind of pre-schedule some posts, but I also want the flexibility that, like, if something comes up, I can post to that. I used to do that, and last year I kind of fell off the wagon with that. Everything was like pre-scheduled like a week before, and that was why some posts didn't pop up when they were supposed to, is because I scheduled them and forgot them and never checked to see if they actually posted. So I want to kind of change that, keep an active eye on that, and kind of intermingle pre-scheduled posts with random posts. I want to do bi-weekly videos, which is kind of like this. My plan was originally to film a whole bunch of videos in December and just spend like the next few months editing and uploading them, and that didn't happen. This is the second one I've recorded in December, and it is New Year's Eve. So that tells you a lot about how this has gone. But my plan is still to post bi-weekly. It's just I didn't get them all filmed and edited and uploaded the way I wanted to, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Then I want to use the community tab to announce videos and challenges. So if you are wanting to keep an eye out on what I'm planning on to do, feel free to keep an eye out on the community tab, because I will be posting anytime there is a new video. I'll be posting something there. And then when I do a challenge such as the 7-day book challenge, I will be posting to that as well. At least that is the plan. I wanted the community tab so badly, and now that I have it, I haven't been utilizing it the way I'd always dreamed of using it, and so I want to fix that this year. So, under reading, I'm going to be doing Skye's Craft Symposium. I will have a video coming out with more details about that. It's kind of a mixture of Kate Kavanagh's writing semester and Tamara Wood's writer's workshop, both of which I'll have links for below. But it's not going to be a live stream. I am just going to be doing this and doing like a video vlog for myself, where I read a craft book and kind of put into practice what the craft book's talking about and tell you the results of those. That's a short version gist of what the plan is for that. And again, I will have a video coming out more about that in the future. My plan is to read 13 fiction books this quarter. It doesn't matter what they are. I'm a mood reader, and I tend to read in waves. That was very evident in 2023. Again, I'll have a video coming out about the books I read in 2023. But suffice it to say, I read a fuck ton of historical romance with the knowledge that I would probably, I don't want to say never write it, but like, I am bad with history, which is why writing the Shifters and Mages story, Hunter's Betrayal, is so hard, is because it deals with the Salem witch trials and what was going on back then. I'm so bad at history. So I really don't see myself anytime soon writing any historical romance, but that is what I lean toward this past year, 2023. And so we'll see what 2024 ends up being, but suffice it to say, 13 fiction books is what I'm aiming for Q1, and 1 nonfiction book. And that is going to be included in my craft symposium. So that is the book I'm going to be aiming for as far as like completing that. Under family and friends, I want to continue doing our weekly family night. We've been doing them on Monday nights. That may shift. There's some changes coming to both mine and my husband's work schedule, the kids' activities that they're doing, so that may change, but we'll see. Monthly date night is still in the plans. My husband and I we keep saying we're going to do date night, but we have yet to do it because of our finances and the way they've worked, plus it's the end of the year, and oh boy, we're not going to go into all the reasons why. That's just the general gist of what the reasons are. So under school and work, the goal for the entire year is to complete a course, Goblin. But so that means in Q1, I want to complete 25% of a course, at least. And then I also want to save $600, $200 per month from January to March. That is going to be saved towards a full-time writing career, because that is ultimately my goal, is to do this full-time, write full-time and post videos full-time. And I need to let the dog out, so I'll be right back. So as far as the goals go that are kind of falling more into the better and best category, I kind of touched on those with the short story, because the plan is to, for the full year, republish the Presumed Dead short story along with its 2 sequels. But there's a couple other things that I want to make sure I start working on this quarter so that they can happen before the end of the year. So along those same lines, I really want to focus on Hunter's Betrayal and kind of determine whether or not it's going to be the first book in the series or the third book in the series. And the reason for that is my major overarching goal for this year, like if nothing else gets done, this is the one that has to get done, is that I want to republish Puck's Choice. Puck's Choice was originally published December 3rd, 2014, so this year would be its 10-year publishversary. 10-year anniversary. So that's why that is my main goal. I want to have that republished by December 3rd of 2024. So that's why I kind of need to figure out if Hunter's Betrayal is going to be book 1 or book 3, because if it's going to be book 1, that one needs to be published first. And if it's going to be book 3, not so big of a deal. But that's one of the reasons why I want to figure out where in the storyline it's going to fall and get it ready. Because even if it turns out it is going to be book 3, the closer it is to being done, the happier I'll be, because I would like to get, in a perfect world, I would like, if it's book 1, I want it and Puck's Choice out. If it's book 3, I want Puck's Choice, Jenna's Story, which was originally book 2, again published and then pulled when the publishing company closed, and then Hunter's Betrayal, book 3. So whether that's book 1 or book 3, I want it and Puck's Choice published. So if it turns out it's 1, it, Hunter's Betrayal, and Puck's Choice. If it's book 3, Puck's Choice, Jenna's Story, Hunter's Betrayal. So like the goal is to get all of those 3 published, or at least 2 of the 3 published, depending on where it falls in the storyline or timeline. So that's why that is like one of my major focuses, and that's why that one, if nothing else gets done this year, that's the one that has to get done. And then with the other things that I wanted to talk about, I mentioned that I'm going to be doing the 7-day book challenge, but like I would like to do other challenges. I would like to do 10K challenges on Saturdays. They might not fall on Saturdays, they might fall on Sundays. My work schedule is supposed to change. However, there's been some things that have come up, so it might not change the way I was thinking in my mind that it would. So I might not have Saturdays off, which means it might be 10Ks on Sundays instead of Saturdays, but we'll see what happens. The other thing that affects it is the fact that my kids are doing sports, and sometimes those sports have events that are going on Saturdays. So that's why that might change as well. So while my goal is to do 10K Saturdays, it might be 10K Sundays, and I don't have any kind of schedule out. Again, keep an eye on the community tab, because I will be posting there when I do different challenges and things. I will try to post once a month to the community tab with all the events I plan on doing, as far as like challenges and events and stuff like that. But there's no guarantee. But because of this, the other challenge that I really want to work on is the 85K 90. I've only heard one person really talk about that, is Mama K Ward. I will leave a link to her channel in the description. I can't remember if she is the originator of the idea or if she got it somewhere else. I have not researched enough. I feel happy if I can just say, hey, I got this idea from her. And that's who I credit with coming up with the idea, is because that's where I got the idea from, is from her. Where she got the idea from, I don't know. So the idea of that is to write 85,000 words across 90 days. So between the short story and Hunter's Betrayal, because the short story is going to be around 10K and the Hunter's Betrayal is going to be around 70K, that's almost 85K right there. So not too worried about it. If I can complete those 2 things, I technically have completed that challenge. Almost. It won't be that hard to complete that challenge from there. So that's why That's kind of lumped in with my goals as well, is because in completing some of my other goals that I want to do for under the good category, I will complete that goal almost, or at least mostly. So that's why I kind of wanted to mention that. I think that's all of the goals I really want to talk about. Breaking down some of the other goals I had, such as like doing 25% of the course within the quarter. My other goals based on the courses were kind of just upping how many courses I completed or how much of the courses I complete based on that. So like for my best goal, I essentially want to complete one course each quarter, but the idea I also could do is 25% of 4 different courses each quarter with the intention of completing them 100% by the end of the year. So that's basically what I've done with all my goals, is I've kind of just shrunk them down, my year-long goal, into what could be a quarterly goal as far as like my good, better, best. And I do have a tracker on Notion where I am keeping an eye on what I want to do. And the other thing I am doing is I'm keeping a handwritten log of what I actually complete. I say handwritten because I haven't actually started yet, so it might not be handwritten in the end. I would prefer it to be handwritten because that's easier for me to keep track of, but I might just create a new document in Notion and be like, here is my achievement unlocked, and add things as I complete them, or add things that pop up in my life to that list. In the past, I've done handwritten ones in my bullet journals, but I'm not really keeping a bullet journal this year. I'll be doing a video about my planner lineup next, and yeah, it's just, I gotta figure out a way I'm gonna keep track of everything I have accomplished in 2024, or I will accomplish in 2024, because I didn't do such a good job in 2023 tracking that, and I want to do better in 2024. So still thinking about that, still figuring out how I'm going to do that. It might literally just be a jar that I keep post-it notes in, that I just throw in joined anthology, completed this story, and a date, and throw that into a jar. I don't know. That's what I've seen some people do in the past. If you have any ideas on how to keep track of what you do accomplish versus what your goals were, let me know in the comments, because I am all for ideas at this moment. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button and leave me a comment talking about some ideas you have for tracking what you do accomplish versus what you actually planned, how you plan on keeping track of all of that. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. I plan on posting a video every other week, and hopefully a vlog in between those. So we'll see what happens. But I will see you all in my next video. Bye, Dragonlings.